Hi, it's Ron Jones from Lean Berets. I'm using the SandBell for a couple different videos that involve crossbody patterns. And I do a lot of crossbody patterns because it's very good for the brain to go from the right side of the body to the left and from the left side of the body to the right. It helps the whole brain integrate and turn on. And it has a relaxation effect too, as long as you don't overdo it and you make sure that people know how to do the very simple drills, whether they're using a SandBell or just some body weight cross-body movements like this. So enjoy the two videos I'm posting. One is single drill, how to teach it from the ground up, from the get-go. No one's ever done the drill before on a Tai Chi teacup. And then how to use two SandBells at once and maybe use some heavier SandBells as well. Hi, this is Ron Jones from Lean Berets again, talking about the SandBells for teacup drills, a Tai Chi teacup drill. So in the first video I talked to you about just using one SandBell, teaching somebody that's never done the drill before all the different steps to regress and progress and basically do the basic pattern and get people open up in their hips and use their whole body. So this is the second video. It's a progression video, so make sure to watch the first one if you haven't. So I'm going to take all those principles and I'm going to apply it to two. Okay, so I'm going to drop, I've got my hips loose, and there's no one way to do this, okay? But I think having taught this for a few years, to have the SandBells travel together seems to be a little bit easier for people to grasp as they learn how to use two. So I'm basically moving them together as they travel around. And again, the goal is to keep them flat so you don't spill that imaginary cup of tea. So that might be a little easier for some people because they can kind of watch them go. But once you figure that out, I like to start separating them and doing things like this. So I'm just playing. I can get wide here and really put a little bit more load on my shoulders, although it's only 2 pounds, so it's not a major amount of weight, and just really stretch and play. And you can also add the pivoting, right? I can start turning with this. And going down and coming up. And so again, there's no one way to do it, but it seems to be a little bit easier if they're kind of traveling together, at least the first few times people do it. And I encourage you to come up with your own ways of doing it. And it's very exploratory, which is why I really like using the SandBells in this teacup drill. Now, this is the progression video, so of course 2 is a little bit more difficult. They also make SandBells in different sizes, so I like when people get a little more fit. This is the 5-pound SandBell filled with steel shot. So it's not really any bigger for the most part. It's the same size, but it has a lot different feel to it. You know, when you feel that in your hand, it's like, okay, I really got something there. But it would be the same thing. This is a progression because I've got 3 more pounds, but I want to keep the quality. And the goal, the playful goal, is to keep it pretty flat. But as I mentioned in the first video, the SandBells for this drill have a nice sweet spot because I can tilt my hand and still maintain the SandBell. When you use a golf disc or a frisbee, especially outside, a little breeze, it blows right off your hand. It could be a little tedious. So the SandBell gives you some play and room in there to make a little, you know, it's not quite as precise, but that's okay. They also come in 4 pounds. I mean, they go up to like 30 or 40 pounds, I think. That's a little bit bigger though. So now we have a little bit more of a clearance issue, which is why I don't really like the frisbees as much, because I've got to pass through here, and some people just struggle with that part of it. So, but if you like it, you know, you can get something a little bit larger. That's 4 pounds. This is 5, even though it's smaller, but this has steel shot, this has sand. So anyway, that's a A couple of tips on using two and maybe keeping them parallel, using 5 pounds of shot or 4 pounds of sand. And if you don't have that, get a heavy duty paper plate, you know, and try something like that, as long as it doesn't break if you drop it on your foot. Okay, so have fun with it, because it's just a wonderful drill. I think it's made me, this is going to sound a little strange, but I think it's made me a better person doing this, because I learned a lot about myself and where I was keeping my tension and how to play more with movement. And that's been a real breakthrough for me. So I really encourage you to play with this, have fun, and let me know how you do.